Blessed love to one and all. Shalom, Alafia, Hotep. The Honorable Priest Isaac here with you once more. And I'm bringing you basically the second episode in the series that we have begun, directly dealing with the challenge as it relates to our newly released ebook, The True Biblical Land of Israel. Now, in our first episode of this series that we're doing, and remember the series is only going to have about 4, maybe 5 the most programs if we do that much. What we will be doing, we are basically highlighting first of all our book, The True Biblical Land of Israel. And remember, the True Biblical Land of Israel, it is really a theological paper that we have transformed into one of our easy to read books. You know, they appear light, but they are extremely heavy and full of light as well. And the theory of the paper that we have written is that the land of Israel, according to the geographical description in the Bible, is all of Africa plus Arabia, and throw Madagascar in that as well, you know. So obviously that goes against the norm, that being that Israel is Palestine and that region. And what we have done, we have prepared a challenge, which I will quickly read again just for the record's sake, that we are sending to different organizations and specific individuals internationally. Now, this is not the first time we have done this. We have done this about a decade. We did this, about a decade ago, when we wrote the book, the biblical land of Israel, not the true biblical land of Israel, but the biblical land of Israel, which has never been put into e-form. So what we did, we revisited the book, re-edited, we added a few things and spiced it up just a bit and put it now in e-form. Everything is the pictures, the cover, everything is totally different. And that's the true biblical land of Israel. But of course, the theory is the same, that according to the description given in the Bible, the description that the Bible gives clearly shows that Israel for sure is not Palestine. You know, and one of the things that we highlight is that the land of Palestine, or the land of modern day Israel, political Israel today, although some people would say, well, that's not all of it. It's bigger. It goes up to here and it goes down to here. I understand that. But if you study Israel today, this is a very important point. If you notice the whole biblical landscape then is, capsulated inside of that little land. So that's why you'd have from Dan to Beersheba. What does that mean? When the Bible speaks of from Dan to Beersheba, it's speaking of the whole land of Israel, like from Cape to Cairo. And in modern day Israel today, you actually have Dan at one end and Beersheba at the other end. Is really from Dan to Beersheba. Now, I'm trying to show you that even those of us who say, well, that is Israel, but it should be a little bit bigger, that's not the whole thing. I understand the point you're trying to make, but then why is it still referred to as from Dan to Beersheba? It should have been from Dan halfway to Beersheba, because you have a bit more of the land to add to it. Not trying to complicate those who are not even into that sort of study. The point is, not trying to meet no one halfway neither. The point is, that's a make-believe story. That's the point. It's an amusement park. And those of us who say that we are conscious now and black conscious, we must even look into ourselves to get the full scope, especially if we want to consider ourselves Israelites, especially if we want to, say that we are finding our true heritage and then we are trying to disrespect Africa. Because this is what it seems like in many of the camps that consider themselves Hebrew Israelites. There is this disrespect for Africa in general, when it is obvious that, this cannot be you cannot prove, I should say, that you are disconnected from the people of the motherland, from the people of Africa, from the people of the West Coast, from the people of Angola, from the people of Southern Africa, those of us in the West that were taken here into captivity according to the fulfillment of the scriptures in Genesis chapter 15. Yes, into captivity for 400 years via ship. Yes, we do fulfill that prophecy. But we are the same Africans that are on the land, and science itself can prove that. Even a look in the mirror can prove that. All of us here, we have a twin over there. There's somebody in the modern land, the motherland, that looks like me. There's no European look-alike for me. There's no Chinese look-alike for me. They may be the same height. There may be something that is similar. But to say you find a quote-unquote spitting image of me, you ain't gonna find it amongst the Indian people. But I'm sure, not even sure, I know the Africans, that if you see them and you see me, you say, wait, you sure he's not your brother? So I mean, to try to divide ourselves, separate ourselves, ostracize ourselves from ourselves is madness, you know? And this is why this challenge is so key. And this is why every different organization, the specific organizations and even individuals, the challenge is unique to them. So now I'm highlighting our Hebrew Israelite brothers and sisters. You know, the Hebrew Israelites in the Western world, even my brothers and sisters in Dimona as well. We are speaking of individuals who have, you know, come to a level of consciousness. Just like most of us who are sleeping, they have, you know, awoken to a higher level of truth, a different manifestation of understanding. We have taken even the Bible and have seen it in a more positive light than how it was even given to us. But I think that there is still that lack of full comprehension. Why? Because we're still following the interpretation of the wicked one. We highlight that Revelation says that woe be unto those that said that they're Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Lucifer and all of these different things. But yet still it is these same individuals that are of the synagogue of the naughty that gave us this concept that Palestine is Israel. We can't forget history, you know. These people were literally going to put Israel in Argentina. Let's not forget the history, you know. They were planning to put Israel in Uganda. Maybe they said, no, that's a risky thing there. So they said they're going to put it in Palestine, and they ran out the Palestinians, and all of a sudden we have this history about Solomon's temple being destroyed in 70 AD. Come on, let's not lose it now. I'm trying to show you that the history in the Bible, the geography in the Bible does not align with Palestine at all being the land of Israel. It does not align with us being in captivity and enslaved in the land of Egypt, Kemet, at any time. Archaeologically, we all know that cannot be proven. We all know that you cannot prove that there was an exodus going through the Red Sea of today. And I don't even have to dig into science. Let's deal with the Bible again. Because within the scripture, it clearly shows you that the land that God gave to Abraham is from the river Euphrates to the river in Egypt. In Egypt. And yet still you're leaving Egypt. And you're going through the Red Sea. Where you going? What are you trying to find? You are already in the landmass. You are already in the real estate that the Almighty gave to Abraham in Genesis chapter 15. He expanded the land. The land got bigger. Now it's from the river Euphrates to the Great Sea. They're telling us that the Great Sea is the Mediterranean Sea. Now listen. My concept is that the Great Sea is the Atlantic Ocean. Oh, prove that. Hold on. Before I prove that, let us look at the Mediterranean Sea. I can prove that, you know. All of that is in my book. But before we prove that, let's look at the Mediterranean Sea, because the benefit, not the benefit, but the burden of proof is not really on me. The burden of proof is on you. Because if from the river Euphrates to the river in Egypt was the initial plot that the Almighty gave to Abraham, then He, the Almighty, is going to expand the land and make it bigger. Now it's from the river Euphrates to the Mediterranean Sea. The land has gotten smaller. Doesn't make sense, because the Mediterranean Sea is not the Great Sea of the Bible. It's the Atlantic Ocean. Again, Ezekiel 47 clearly says that this Great Sea is to the west and to the south of the land of Israel, and to the east of Israel there is the East Sea. So I'm saying that is just the tip of the iceberg. That is why we have written the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel, and it's now in e-form, and this is why we found it necessary. This is not, we're telling you plainly. I'm being very pellucid here to you. This is also a promotion campaign. Yeah. So we are emailing our books to the individuals that we are posing the challenge to, the organizations and individuals, and we are also emailing the challenge, which also comes directly in the book. So for those who have not heard the official challenge, just give me a moment, let me read it to you here. It is posted at the back of our new book, The True Biblical Land of Israel, and of course you yourself should get a copy. The challenge. The Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Email priestisaac27@gmail.com. To whom it may concern. Blessed love to you and yours. I have revisited a previously written theological paper and have transformed it into an ebook entitled The True Biblical Land of Israel. The primary theory of this paper/book is that the land of Israel is geographically described in the Bible. The land of Israel as geographically described in the Bible is not Palestine, but all of Africa plus Arabia. The second theory is that the true biblical Israelites are the melanated people of the planet that has the woolly type of hair, black people, original Africans. I am issuing a challenge to all who disagree with my findings to prove otherwise. This is a cordial challenge of concern, as our international society has been led to believe that Palestine is the biblical promised land, and that the modern day Israeli people are the people of the book. I have utilized the Bible as the main point of reference to prove my point, which has both religious and political ramifications. If you contend with my premise, please feel free to accept my challenge. You can respond using the avenue of your choice. I am humbly awaiting your response. Honorable Priest Isaac, Holy Emmanuel Selassie Jah, Rastafari. So I just wanted to run through that quickly for you, and that is basically the challenge itself. It's at the completion of the book, and that is the official challenge that we have sent. Now, in our previous episode of this series, we highlighted the Jewish organizations that we have sent our challenge out to. We have also sent out some to other Jewish organizations since that time, and a few Christian colleges, Bible colleges. But in another upcoming episode, I'm going to highlight the Christian organizations that we have already sent the challenge to, and some that we will be sending to, Lakewood, that's Joel Oystein. Got to send another challenge to our good brother T.D. Jakes, the Potter's House. So we let you know the Christian organizations, as I said, the Islamic organizations, and then of course the directly political organizations, different governments. So we got a lot of work to do on this, and because this is serious, my brothers and sisters. Even when we talk about reparation, this is all a part of the battle, identification, on different fronts. You're Pan-African, we're African, we are also even esoterically, and if you want to get literally, the Israelites of the chosen of the land that has been spoken about. So that's why when we talk about the Joseph Project and returning home, all of that Egypt captivity stuff, that is here when we are sent into the land of captivity to Egypt again in ships. In ships, it's a deep, high understanding. So this is why the whole aspect of the theory is important, because if my theory is the truth, then there's no premise for any black man looking at another black man because they come from the motherland and refer to them as a stinking African. That is so weird, and that philosophy is so weak. I am surprised people believe in this stuff. That philosophy is without any merit. And this is why I am challenging. I've sent now, so far, I've sent the book, The Biblical Land of Israel, with the challenge to Deacon Malachi. And Deacon Malachi is one of the good brothers of the Iuic. That's the Iuic, School of Hebrew Israelites. That's the Iuic. And we also sent a copy of the book, The True Biblical Land of Israel, with the challenge to the Isupk. And we sent that basically generally to the Isupk, the School of Universal Practical Knowledge. So that was not to any specific individual, but basically you could say across the board. So it's there, and I will repeat again, my brothers and sisters, it's not a challenge of war, you know. As I said, you can respond in whatever avenue, whether it's a paper, whether it's a video, it doesn't bother me. As you could see, I'm not angry with anyone, I'm not cursing nobody, none of these different things. We just want to keep it civil. If you can prove what you can prove, well, just prove it. Remember, I have a myriad of points here. It's not just a point, you know. I have several points that clarify this, that we cannot go around. And we've used the Bible as the pivot point for this argument. I know some have their issues with the Bible. This is not a Bible issue discussion. We are taking the Bible as it is, and we're discussing the content of it. And the content of it clarifies that the land of Israel is Africa plus Arabia. So that moves Jerusalem, that moves Bethlehem. Your captivity in Egypt, that doesn't make any sense, like how you try to make it look to us. That's why all of these things cannot be proven historically and archaeologically. So people say, oh, how you can't find the temple of this and the bones of this man and that man. People looking in the wrong place. You're even looking for the wrong people. You're looking under the wrong nation and wrong names. So many things, but I'm not afraid or not ashamed to say, this is not a guessing question, man, you know. I'm not guessing. I could explain further than the biblical land of Israel. But let's just take it one step at a time. Yeah, so do give thanks, and the challenge is out. We'll be continuing to, there's some other Hebrew organizations we want to send the book and the challenge to, as I said, and we're going to be sending it across the board. I'm just keeping you up to date in exactly what we're doing. I have my team on it as well, doing the research, searching for, these links. We want to touch as much of the Bible colleges internationally as we can, man, so they could understand, what we have here. So if you want to invite us to come to your college to present our paper, we will. If you want us to debate any of your professors on the subject, we surely will. Because as I said, I already have it in a book form, it's not as if I have anything to hide. So you will actually read my book before I debate you. I don't even know what you're gonna say. And you read my book, you see my premise right away. So you know exactly, okay, he said this, I know what I could say. I don't know what you're gonna say. And I'm so confident that you can't even last one round with me if we're dealing with the Bible, accepting it for what it is, and the theory that it presents. Well, if that's what we're doing, Palestine is a fraud, the Israeli stuff is a make-believe stuff, and those of us who say that we are black Hebrews and that we are black Israelites, yet still we denying Africa and promoting Tel Aviv up in the little corner there, we are lost as well, and we need to check ourselves. But don't feel no, it's okay. That's why I'm here, to show you the truth. Please don't be stubborn. This is not time to be religiously tied up. This is a time to cleanse our chakras and ascend to a higher level, with love and harmony. So I'm looking for your response. My brothers and sisters, visit me on, email me and purchase a copy of the book, and support what you see taking place here, I would definitely appreciate it to the fullness, And of course, you could also purchase the book Anu, Ancient and Modern, Revisited, that goes into the spirit of the megaliths, the spirit of the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, the spirit of the connections to the heavens, the spirit of Anu, Ancient and Modern, the spirit of Antigua, where I was born, Give thanks. So if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will definitely become a mystery. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. Alafia to each and every one. Salamta and blessed love. Honorable Priest Isaac here. It is with great joy that I am happy to announce to you that I have officially released my first ebook, Anu Ancient and Modern, Revisited. This is the continuation process of our easy-to-read books. Within the pages of Anu Ancient and Modern Revisited, we take the time to show you the spiritual connection with the island of Antigua and Heliopolis in Kemet in Egypt, with the island of Antigua and the legendary continent of Atlantis. We also highlight Green Castle Hill, also known as Mount Anu, which is known as the Stonehenge of the Caribbean, with the countless of megaliths that align with the movement of the heavens. This is a must-read for all those who are students of the esoteric realms, astronomy, geology, and ancient sites. Of course, to get a copy of your book, all you have to do is to contact us at area code 1268-728-3162. Call, text, or even WhatsApp. Or you can email us at priestisaac27@gmail.com to get a copy of your ebook, Anu Ancient and Modern. It is an easy to read book, may appear light, but it is extremely heavy. Blessed love. Blessed love, my family. Give thanks for your presence. At this moment, we are on a mission seeking for real partners. We are establishing a real partnership in this, what we consider a real war. Let me be clear from the onset. We will be speaking of finance. This is not a word to everyone. This is primarily for those who appreciate the works that we do, those who love the mission that we are on. Not appreciate hate, which means to magnify the hate, but appreciate love. Magnify the love. As most of you would know, one of our videos on YouTube was taken down a few weeks ago. That left us with a strike against our channel and a handful of restrictions for us to go over. Many people has literally told us in the past that you should monetize your channel. Now, to be very clear, I have no intention, neither did I have any passion whatsoever to do that. But even if I did, that is something that was never possible and is not possible now because of the restrictions, number one, that cannot be done. And then again, even without the restrictions, it was already restricted in the region that I am in, where I live. So Radio Anu was also taken down a few days after. And within a few days, it also came back up. As you also know, unlike many other channels, we do not make it a habit or even a part of our business at all to ask for any donations or contributions. This also is for several reasons. Number one, as we have expressed in the past, we honestly don't think that we should ask for such from an audience that can see the works that we are doing. Number 2, even in the past, after being encouraged by others to solicit donations and contributions, we established the PayPal system. Those of you who have attempted to contribute via that PayPal know for sure that it never worked. There was always an issue. Email and Facebook shut down several times, plus other things behind the scenes that I would not even mention here. No Patreon and being ostracized from the executive YouTube club, I am sincerely asking you, those of you who admire and appreciate the work that we do, to assist us in this venture of uplifting our people, physical, soul, and mind. I am not asking you to contribute, and I am not asking you for any donation. I am just asking you to patronize. You know, we have begun to create a series of ebooks, from Anu, Ancient and Modern Revisited, to the ebook, The True Biblical Land of Israel. Of course, our children books like The Great Kings and Queens of Africa. You know, we have our video lecture series. We also have our DVD documentaries from the Master of Ceremony 7 and the Night of the Black Tiger. You also know, as it relates to Radio Anu, there's a monthly subscription where you literally get the programs that are done nightly on the shock of the hour. Of course, on one level, you will be assisting myself as I am also assisting you. It is just a genuine and justified exchange of goods and services. Now, there's much more behind the scenes that I care not to say on this medium. Now, I have no criminal record, well known and accepted in my community, but it seems like there's something coming out of my mouth that is a bother to some. And I'm not cursing, and there's no guile coming from between my teeth, just what I consider to be the truth. My brothers and sisters who love me and love the work, as I love you as well, I'm being very straight. We're on the battlefield. So I'm asking you to partner with me, to assist me on the battlefield. We're not asking for anything as contributions and donations. We are asking you to patronize what we have to offer. Give thanks. Obviously, there would be a reason why we ask. So you can email me at priestisaac27@gmail.com and I'll give you more information. I am looking forward to hearing from you. Salamta.
Yes, I knew flower this on the ends, representing the flames. Yo, the one after the Honorable Priest Isaac. Some boy fi know this. Hear me now. Antigua are the place where Priest Isaac dwell. Ancient Israel, ancient story fi tell. Yes, up a Lalibela where the monk them a dwell. With them mescal, them a broke evil spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, he's my angel. His foundations in the whole mountain. priest Isaac on the whole of mountain. Him block a reverence on the whole of mountain. Him chant a psalm on the whole of mountain. But never hesitate for yell the king. I take a Isaro Einin. So proud yes to be an offspring. Mystic vibration of the people them a sing. Angel, mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where him dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, him an angel. Priest Isaac is an angel. Mystic vibration is an angel. And them nah go rebel. In a Zion where we dwell. When we broke for them spell. Priest Isaac is an angel. Yes, him an angel. Trod on the banks of the gully. Isaac trod it through the hills and the valley. Trod it through the town, through the bloody city. Highly, 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 always with we. Highly, 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 I'll protect we. Highly, 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 I would never leave we.